Let's do this. All right. Hello, guys. They can see us now. Kinda. Wait a second. Jeez, this has gone all wrong. All right. There we are. Hello. Oh, they can't hear me yet. There we go. Now you guys can hear me. Or can't, were you always able to hear me? Oh, geez. I might have closed. Oh, what a night. What a freaking night. Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna blame Malice because he was having some trouble on his stuff earlier, and I think it jumped over to me. Yeah. Okay. So of course I forgot to mute and everything. Oh, god darn it! I hit the wrong button again. They couldn't hear you. Oh my gosh! I want this day to be over now.
Might be her.
Okay. Everyone can hear everyone. Hello, guys. Welcome to Yapping at Midnight with Bonnie and special guest Curtis.
What's up?
What a freaking day.
It almost did come midnight. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's all right. We're only 24 minutes late. But anyway, thank you guys for showing up. As you know, Yapping at Midnight is, for the most part, uncensored, and I'm going to actually close off the chat here. It's uncensored and unfiltered, and whatever you say, it goes. So don't say anything that you will regret later.
Didn't you get a request for Bonnie Uncensored? Oh, wow.
So
and I had Curtis in the mix. Oh.
No, I'll censor myself. I need to be
Everybody's
self-censored.
like, no, we want to hear.
We don't want to go that route. Whoa, it gets ugly.
Interesting. I just thought about this while ago when you were having these technical difficulties. The cat's all meowing. But we went to our local witchy. We had to go get glasses. And I'm still waiting on her information. I turn around and I said, the doll. I'm waiting on her story. Only one person at this shop knows it, and you don't normally see spirit vessels at metaphysical shops either. But I turn around and I'm looking, and I said, "What is with this doll?" Anyway, so yeah, I'm wondering. They said now one thing we do know is she's asleep, but I picked up enough on her. I held her, and I'm like, "Ooh." And I handed it, and Curtis was like, "Ooh," like we were like, "How much?" You know, and it was "Ooh, look at the." Look like your picture pixelated on our end.
Whose picture?
Or maybe it's just your shirt blending into the background. You know how it blends in? It makes you look pixelated. Anyway, this is why I needed glasses. That's why we went to Waco. I got glasses, y'all.
Well, that's okay. I'm sure you look good in glasses. And speaking of looking good, Anima threw you a nice compliment here. She says, "Wow, she looks better than me fresh in the morning."
I'm just trying to learn to do girly makeup stuff, and it's kind of, I feel like a mess.
Yeah, go ahead and get your girly makeup on. You know, get all dolled up, get your lipstick, get that hair did, girl.
The only makeup shows I watch are the murder and makeup ones, so I'm learning.
Murder and makeup. Oh dear. Oh, and Billy says uncensored Curtis is interesting, and I got his number too. Hello, Billy, and
Curtis is pretty uncensored though. I mean, the one thing that I love though is like he says it like he feels. He doesn't hold back. It's not like with him you have to worry about the type of person that you're walking on eggshells with. Definitely opposite of any like more that like these I guess you'd call them controlling type people. You feel like you would have to walk on eggshells around, but he is definitely a Gemini. He communicates very well. Now, and I let out my emotions well being a Cancer, so there you go.
Yeah.
See, I like people to be who they are, authentically. But we all have character flaws, right? So I want somebody to be authentic so that I can properly correct them.
Oh, I love that. Be
I'm
authentic
clowning.
so I
I'm
can
just
correct
clowning,
you.
but no, I really do, man. Authenticity is key. You know what I mean? I would rather someone be honestly who they are and me be able to make an educated decision on whether or not I want to let them in my life experience, man. You know?
Right.
Now,
Well, and I think he's kind of referring, and you mentioned doing a video more deep within this, but on this subject though. The last 2 days, we've had somebody, possibly the same person, possibly two different, but lover haters, people that they hate you, but yet they are spending so much time, you are consuming their mind. That's what kills me. It's like they hate us, yet their mind is consumed with us in that brain, right?
I have seen it. Triple P, Kermit, Piggy. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yesterday I had a fake account that was trying to instigate shit like between his child's mother and myself. And like, number one, I'm too smart for that, you know, because it's just dumb. It's like, I know that baby's mamas just don't send shit like that. I mean, no matter how petty you are, it was beyond petty. And I started laughing because I know it was from another hater female, but I'm like, this person hates me so much, but yet I consumed so much of their headspace. I'm like, they're empowering me without even, when you do that, when you allow somebody to take that much space up, it becomes them being able to power off you. You're helping.
Well, you know what cracks me up about that whole situation was the fact that these sorts of people literally expect you to be just as petty as them.
Yeah.
Like they take these petty approaches to trying to create conflict.
Yeah.
It's really amateur psychological warfare.
I literally just blocked and went on about it. And I didn't even, he's like, what's wrong? I was like, oh, I wouldn't even want to tell him because it meant nothing. And I said, look, somebody really desperate trying to cause trouble. And I said, number one, I said, I am so upset that they would think that I would fall for this. I mean, this is stupid. But that might be their level. But then it was like, I guess that didn't work. So they tried on him today. And it was like literally picking away when we talk, like we are water and air. So we're going to make some faces at each other. It doesn't mean that we get along. It's a thing. We really do. Oddly enough, we get along well. I mean, we're normal. We're be like, well, I don't like chocolate ice cream. Well, I like strawberry. You know, like we're going to have stupid little things, but it's always like...
Wait, which one of you like strawberry? You like strawberry, Bonnie?
I actually like all of them. I prefer strawberry or prefer chocolate then strawberry.
And
chocolate's always
you're out. You're gone.
Mel, then. Oh hey, this is sorry, Kurt.
Chocolate.
I like it better than vanilla.
I'm a strawberry kind of guy.
No, I like strawberry myself.
Strawberry's good.
Strawberry is where it's at.
Chocolate covered strawberry. Yeah.
Oh well. Go there. That's really good.
Well,
I mean, why not?
You're getting
I'm a magician.
Distracted.
If it ain't out there, I'll create it.
But no, regarding that earlier, it was like another dig, but it was like, oh, they got me last night. I guess it didn't work, so they're going to try on you. Or it's just somebody else because all this anger and hate. And I laughed. I said, but do you realize somebody is literally taking the time out of their day, picking apart, going, oh, her expression looked like, when you said grandiose. Number one, I'm like, uh-oh. Probably what I'm thinking is, what the fuck is he else going to say? He's going to say some shit. It's never about, I can't believe he would say it because he's grandiose. Don't try to think, nah. Every time somebody thinks they know what's going on in my head, they are so wrong. Because I have ADD. I'm probably thinking about a butterfly that I see floating off in the distance. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to pick my brain. Don't try to speak for me. I'm obviously very capable.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing.
It was so funny. It was trying hard.
If people were in their life purpose and they were walking their path. They're going to be grandiose. They're going to be the best Melvin they can be, because there's only one. I'm the best Curtis that I can be. You can't compete where you can't compare. If you're trying to compare yourself with me, then we can compete. But you're still going to lose this competition because I am authentically Curtis Joseph. Period. There's nothing that's going to change that. And, you know, there's this issue of people actually not liking somebody who is educated in a specific field. They hate it when you have a bunch of uneducated people trying to pretend to be educated. They're going to claim that you're arrogant. Why? Because you're qualified to teach something? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to hate somebody because they're qualified. You're going to waste all of that energy hating somebody because they're confident in what they're doing. They put in the flight time. They've got the experience. You're going to hate that individual. You're going to waste that energy when you could be spending that time getting the qualifications your damn self, finding your path and walking it. You see what I mean? And it just, we're coming back full circle to this authenticity thing. Because I do compete fiercely, but I'm competing with myself and my own limitations.
Yeah.
And if somebody feels threatened by that, well, bring your A game then. Put your game face on and do better.
Don't talk about it.
Do more than me and do it better than I do. I'm not here to hold anybody back. I want my students to surpass me. I don't want fame. I don't want glory. I'd give a fuck less about any of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it reminds me of this thing. So, I've been getting my workouts back in and following some martial arts stuff. And it's something that was said and it stuck with me. And it was, don't try to beat me, just beat yourself. If
I like that.
In the end of it, you end up beating me, good for you. But beat yourself. Be better than what you were yesterday. So that's kind of what this reminds me of. And
no, but you're right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm having to learn the same thing, dude. I've been studying and teaching Jeet Kune Do concepts and Filipino martial arts. Well, I've been involved in the martial arts since I was 7. I've been teaching JKD since I was 16. And I just recently put on a white belt again to start studying traditional Japanese martial arts, man. And it's fucking funny because, you know, as a martial artist, you think, oh, I can do this. It's just another martial art. A punch is a punch. A kick is a kick. But the thing is, Jeet Kune Do, man, they place a lot of influence on movement. Fluidity. Be like the nature of water. This teacher specifically tells me, you need to learn stillness, Mr. Joseph. Learn to stand. I have the hardest fucking time sitting still in a stance. I hate it. I hate it. But see, this lets me know that I still have room to grow. I can sit still and meditate, but as a martial artist, man, I'm used to movement, man. I'm used to getting hit. I'm used to being able to hit. Telling me to stand there, I feel like I'm going to stand there and get my ass whooped.
It reminds me of boxing and Muay Thai. Boxing, you're moving around. Don't stand still. Muay Thai, You're a bit stiffer. I mean, you throw harder, but you're stiffer and you're not moving out the way, you know? You're getting my
Yeah, man.
sports.
Well, Muay Thai does a lot of blow for blow. I kick you, you kick me. Those cats are conditioned.
Oh
They're
yeah.
tough as nails. They're tough as nails, man. They'll sit there and kick banana trees and have fun doing it.
Yeah, they're crazy. Let's just
You know, especially in Thailand.
Isn't that the one where the elephant
Yeah.
honors?
Mm-hmm.
I've always been very drawn to elephants. I've had dreams of hiding up underneath the elephant before. But he was talking about in this Muay Thai, the elephant.
Yeah, the elephant inspires a lot of the movements in Muay Thai. Mm-hmm.
You can actually look it up. I mean, it's very beautiful because you can see when they're doing, it's the trunk. You'll know it's the foot stomper. And I'm going,
yeah.
And it did something watching that. There was something so beautifully spiritual. Of course, there's so much written on in lore and different, different places all over the world that look at the elephant as sacred. Mm-hmm. They're the one animal that grieves. So it's very neat that you mentioned Muay Thai because there's Muay Thai of all of them has the spirituality I witnessed when he was talking to me about him. Like, ooh,
Well, yeah, the elephant in Thailand in general. It's animals are sacred in most cultures except for here in the United States. I mean, we seem to be so disconnected from the real world.
Right.
Everybody's connected through Facebook. Everyone's connected through social media. And it's ironic because you see families with their children at the park and they've all got their faces in an electronic device.
I remember, it's funny because, and this is what, my youngest son's dad, he was an addict, he was abusive, he was a lot of things. And he called this was like 2012 because that's when, well, might have been 2010 or 11 because divorce was completely final early in 2012. But anyway, so this was now everybody has cell phones. He goes, oh, I love the glow of my family's face in the evenings. And I'm like, okay, we need to even then, and I don't know why I didn't stick more to it because he's right. How many, and I know a lot of people that will be able to understand this. How many times have you ever texted the person in the room with you because you're trying to get their attention? I've done it.
Oh gosh, that's bad, Bonnie.
No.
That's bad.
No, I've not.
I have known a couple of people, and that's.
I mean, here's the thing, though. As I can't even call myself an occult author anymore. I'm an occult teacher. I need to be writing. I need to be producing grimoires. I got 2 I want to release this year. But I'm an occult teacher. And we utilize modern technology to teach. Zoom calls, messenger calls, people have questions, they'll shoot them to you through email. You got your face always in a device. And so there's times where I'll just go, I put the fucking phone down, I'll go walk. I just walk so I can get fresh air on my face, moonlight, sunlight, so I can see the grass because, man, it's a severe disadvantage to be a witch as a profession. Because in order to be an effective witch, you have to stay connected to nature. But as a professional, this is happening a lot. This is most of my day, as a matter of fact. You know what I mean? And wow. So we've got to be careful to maintain balance as professionals, to maintain lives, real ones,
this whole It seemed, and it's, I noticed it, and this is something I noticed in the paranormal, community, or today. Um, so it's kind of happening across the board, especially in any type of spiritually driven practice. It doesn't matter what you're practicing, but and yelling was like, evidently, when they do the checkups on the people that she helps to tell them what's going on, she gets people from, I mean, I know that spirit mechanics, shout out, they do, they're, I think, in Kentucky, like Kentucky, Tennessee border area, but they're ones that she sends out a lot of times because she only gets the best of the best. She will only recommend the best of the best. And she'll find different people and I guess put them on her list that way. Um, but like these checkups, she pays. She pays for people. She pays to have the house cleared, and for a lot of the expenses, the checkups. Not she'll have the families. I guess they'll pay the first time to get somebody to come out. But on the, she does send these guys out there. She does pay a lot of the stuff that comes out of her own pocket. And she says, "I am so tired." And you could tell it was coming from a place that was hurt. She goes, she did a typo, but it was like, you can find it, if you don't want to use me or people I suggest, fine, but you need to use somebody. But she said a lot of these people don't want to even do the simple work that we tell them to do. Like, go through the house, take the sage, you say these words, like, I want to call it, is partly entitlement, a little partly laziness. Some, I think, sprinkle in some low self-belief that like, I can't do it. But if you go to the right places, you can learn how to effectively kind of protect your home. And this is like some of these people, because I've watched a couple of times and I would pick up, and it was funny because I was just testing myself, but I would be picking up the same stuff. There's a couple of these places that it was dark, really dark stuff, okay? Some of it's, there were cases that, some are just way worse than others, but it was like, they didn't want to even try to attempt the minimal. They just wanted, it's like it's like, get rich quick. It's just, if these people could afford to just toss their house away and pick up a new one like you would, I guess something cheap, whatever, but they would. It's just, it blows my mind. And she was even mentioning it. So it's not laziness, it's everywhere. It's society.
It's laziness. That's just what the fuck it is. We don't even have to overcomplicate shit.
So
you know what I mean? People want me, and this is the thing, man. See, I don't even really advertise ritual for hire. I don't like doing it. I don't like doing it anymore. People always want you to solve their problems for them. They want you to better their life for them. No. I've got my own shit I gotta worry about, man. You know what I mean? I've got my own life to live. Even if I could live your life for you, make your decisions for you, open up the doors for you, I still have my life to live. You know what I mean? So when people approach me to do a ritual, I'll divine, see if I can help them out, and then I'll take the case if I think it's worth my time. Because here's another thing. Every time I perform a ritual, whether it's for me or somebody else, it still affects my process of evolution, personal growth. So if it's going to be affecting me in negative ways, I don't want nothing to do with it. I remember this one company I worked for, man, the kinds of rituals, like dudes didn't want to keep their dick in their pants. So they were trying to abort their babies through black magic.
Ooh.
And this wasn't a single isolated event, man. So when I say, no, I'm not going to do that ritual, and the company, you know, they kind of got pissed off at me. I'm like, wait a minute. I've got my own moral code here.
Why can't you?
Now, granted, I'm not for or against abortion. I let people make their own decisions because it's always going to be circumstantial.
But to him, morally, that wouldn't be fair to the female because you don't know what both sides of the situation.
Well, it's not fair to me because then I got to get involved in that karmic web. And see, there's too many left-hand path magicians teaching this idea that karma doesn't exist. It does. Now, the true definition is misunderstood. It has nothing to do with this threefold law idea. It's just simple cause and effect. You're not going to plant a banana tree and get oranges, man. You know, you're not going to do it. So the sorts of energy that you're weaving within the fabric of reality, whether it's on your behalf, you know what? I think in a lot of ways you're even more responsible when you're doing things for others. You know what I mean? Because I've had spirits, guardian spirits of specific individuals pretty much check me.
Ooh.
Like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? This dude has lessons he's got to learn. Somebody's got to pay the piper, and now you have to. I've had to pay the piper. I've had to bear a lot of karmic weight. I've learned the hard way. So you're not going to catch me doing ritual for hire on a regular basis. And you're sure as fuck not going to catch me charging $2,000 for it because I don't want to do it. Period. It's not worth the money. Because when you actually do it, the kind of, you know, they call it Indra's web for a reason. For those that are familiar with Black Magic of Ahriman and the Path of Smoke, if Billy Collins is here, you know, Indra's web is real. Indra is Andar. It's going to wrap you up and cocoon you if you don't know how to weave the web. Most of these people out here pretending to be teachers are just wrapping themselves up.
Right.
Because they don't really know how to weave.
You know, it's crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe get more mature. Well, some people evidently don't, but it's all this energy, all this negativity lately. It hasn't done what these people are wanting, and it's almost kind of funny because we're like, well, I guess they were trying to trigger you, and we kind of giggle because, like, I'm like, number one, you're going to be, first of all, you're watching this much of his program, and you hate this person. This tells me a lot more about your mental health. First of all, to sit there and endure. Melvin, would I ever watch? How many minutes through Super Psychic do you think I can handle? Okay, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So
he sends you that shit just to piss you off.
No, he does.
It gets me victimized.
But what I've learned is because now she is dangerous though. When it comes to paranormal shit, yeah, she's super dangerous, and it's like knowing what I know, I feel like I have to warn others, and you know, and I always use their own, like what I do is like, yeah, I use her words, but showing where she contradicts herself 5 minutes later. I mean, it's not that hard. I just don't want other people to be, what's it, hoodwinked, you know, by stupidity, and but I don't, you know, Melvin, I do not go digging up her videos.
I don't even know why she comes up. I mean, that chick is simping Elvis Presley.
Well, right now,
not anymore.
Going to sleep with Horace.
Shiva. She be getting around the spiritual
Well,
block, boy.
Get her out.
I think it's Horus now, but
It's Horus. She don't know. You better not be fucking with some Egyptian guy. Just say it.
Man,
but
yeah, look.
I need to quickly say something, and that is House of Smoke. I think it's Papa Smoke, Ed. Welcome to Unexplained Possibilities.
Yo, Papa.
So thanks for dropping by, and I have to go back to the ice cream talk real quick because Behemoth X and I'm seriously, someone remind me to make a button of this. But Behemoth X, welcome to Unexplained Possibilities. Honestly, give me a button of that. And he wants to know if you guys have had ice cream from Costco.
Yeah. He's an elitist, man. You don't understand. This dude, he got like a vape mod that was just so badass and a Costco card in like the same week. He's part of the Illuminati.
Illuminati confirmed. So, all right, well, you know, I don't judge. I do not judge.
Joseph Nunn's part of the Illuminati, man, for sure.
Hold on. Just hold this on top of my
head. Yeah, Costco is incredible.
Hold this on my head.
Oh gosh. You know, so this is something. I've said this before. Oh, welcome, Logan. Oh, my voice is gonna go out from doing this. I can't remember who said, "Oh, Melvin, you should do this." Well, I'm doing it, and I hope it annoys you to death now. Anyway, so
his movie phone's good too.
What's good?
Mr. Movie Phone.
Hello, and thank you for calling Mr. Movie Phone. If you'd like to know the movie, something like that.
Like these young kids now would not even like have an idea what Mr. Movie. Like they'd be, huh? What do you mean, Mr. Movie? Oh my God, I would always get excited. I'm like, that's not the one. That's not my movie. You know, I'd be waiting.
So
talking about the trailer voiceovers.
Well,
that
no,
was
when you
one
would call,
dude.
back when you would call, listen, to find out show times in your area because we didn't have the internet right at our fingertips.
Well, I just remember the movie trailers when that one dude was doing all the voiceovers.
Yeah, he passed away a few years ago.
He had to be rich. He had to be paid.
He got paid good, but yeah, he's dead now.
Actors.
I mean, he did every movie trailer in existence. Like, what? When he died, what happened to him? Because they quit doing it. When they quit doing it, they quit using him. I mean, he was it.
Yeah.
Kramer's Mr. Movie Phone.
You know what's funny is we watched the deadliest movie ever, and we're still here today.
Atrum.
Yeah. Atrum.
I like the concept.
It was good. I mean, I don't know. I like the old filmography, like the old
filmography.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they would. It was Osmodi. Who was it?
Astaroth.
They would be throwing his sigil out.
His sigil was shown in that movie over 170 times.
Oh wow!
But it would be like kind of like that old where they
subliminally too.
And
they admitted to using binaural beats, which, look, I've studied sound enough. I think these people are stupid.
Well, there is a tone that they can use in movies. They call it the fear.
But a tone is not a binaural beat. There's a difference. See, an isochronic tone, you don't need headphones for. For binaural beats to work, you have to have headphones.
I don't know why.
Because the beats alternate from ear to ear in a specific way to affect the brainwaves.
Yeah, get you in a trance almost.
I think they just because I think that possibly the way they would word the only reason they word it that was because people don't know what binaural is more, even though it's like they don't know the technicality of it. It's a sales way, but you would notice there was a lot of high pitch at times, but or this weird, creepy kind of what is what is it you always know the terror. Behemoth might know the old spooky movie instrument. theremin, because Led Zeppelin used one. They would have some of that.
Led Zeppelin is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and I do feel like they pretty much pulled over making a movie that kind of would stick with you in here, even though it didn't have any real jump scares. There was no gore per se. No blood. No. Well, there were some images that would allude to things, but it was this kind of fear, and they did it. I think they did do it, but to me, I think it was more the underlying. Especially if I'd watched this in my Christian days, I would have probably felt like I'd need to go get an exorcist. I would have probably really been messed up. Now, however, watching it on this end of the spectrum, though, it was like, ooh, I liked it because of the symbolism, and they would throw it in right.
Yeah, I gave it an A for effort, and the fact that Astaroth's sigil was in there 170 times, like, that's just way cool. And it was put in subliminally. Like, there are some people who are, let's just say, more easily influenced. Yeah. It might be subconsciously setting them up to die.
Seriously. Well, I mean, and that's what...
No, I'm just being... I mean, come on. When you're using demonic sigils, other sigils that we don't know what they are, and we know they're sigils because they use this clear film, fit it snugly over the original to overlay the sigils on the scenery. I mean, they tell you how they do it at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
These sigils have an effect on the subconscious mind. Anyone who's watched Grant Morrison's talks on sigil magic, anyone with any knowledge of sigils at all, how to create them, how they work, you don't have to know what it means for it to have a effect on the subconscious mind, because there's a collective subconscious.
You know what? I feel kind of bad because that's something similar to what I did when I did a money sigil, and I made sure as many people saw it as possible.
Yeah.
Why would you feel guilty though?
Because I didn't tell them.
I taught people how to do that. And Alchemy of Halo and Horn, Lucifer taught me something called a sigil bomb. And the whole point of it is to create 10 different sigils, one of which will program the dream plane. Like, you create a sigil to have a dream, for instance, about Bugs Bunny. Off the top of my head. So when you dream of Bugs Bunny, this is pretty much giving you an idea that the other sigils are beginning to work. But that's the only sigil you want to remember. This is why you create 10 of them. You create 10 sigils, you forget what they are, you mix them up, forget what they are, and then you throw them on social media. And you share them all over the fucking place. And the more people look at that, what they don't understand is that linear code, what they're looking at is the manifestation of your desire in a linear code. But they are still perceiving it in this physical world. Therefore, they're actually going to be able to see it in this physical world. And more importantly, you will be able to see it in this physical world.
Bonnie,
so, yeah,
you got another compliment.
Is that why that when we drive by McDonald's, we get hungry? Or
Yeah.
Starbucks, that we want to
Well, yeah, I mean, let's think about it. These logos, what does logos mean? Logos, these logos are sigils.
It's interesting.
They have a subconscious trigger.
Yeah,
you see
even
the golden arches.
Golden arches, even jingles. A certain, you know, they don't do the jingles anymore though. I kind of miss those. Although saying that, I think I am strong enough willpowerly to mostly ignore it. I think a lot of people are, because it's whatever. You know, I pass by McDonald's, I don't get hungry, and I was just like, oh well, there's McDonald's. I can make my own fries and I can make them better. That's how I think. So.
I love it. Well, you know what's crazy is that in Texas, but I don't know, other states that might have Six Flags may know, but in Six Flags back in the 90s, 2000s, there was a little old man. Well, I don't know
Oh,
if he was
the
really
dun
old.
dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's all dancing. I'm like, God, I want to be him when I'm old. I mean, like, I'd get excited. I don't know why. It would literally change your mood. Now, this little old man, I'll show you. You'll laugh because you don't know why, but you'll be smiling at the end of the stupid commercial. It's weird. It's like as much as you want to hate it, you couldn't. It was just made to be too happy. Old man looking like Lurch or something and dancer.
Although it never made me want to go to Six Flags. I've actually never been to Six Flags.
Really?
I don't do amusement. I don't get on roller coasters. Never been on one. Will not get on one. So if people are like, "What was your childhood?"
Oh, right.
It was quite normal by my standards.
My son, like, I think it was the last time, he was like, this is the ride that lady got decapitated on. I'm like, shh.
You see? He gets it. He knows. So
No, he's just, he like, nah, because he knows he's, I think I was.
You ain't tall enough.
I think it was a past life I was beheaded, because I don't know why, but that is like, anytime I hear it in like any of my troop, I don't know, the beheading stuff just.
You know what? I'm gonna do something I normally won't do. I'm gonna be a little bit of a mess starter because Papa Smoke is in here, and we know he is a Bokur, and I know you guys saw this. Here I am starting mess. Forgive me in advance, but what did you think about Mr. Matthew doing whatever the heck he was doing with voodoo?
Okay.
Man, it was a complete disgrace.
Oh yeah.
Of every magical system.
I am wondering what Papa has to say about it too, because it was gross.
Yeah.
What is it? The zombie beating. What was it?
The voodoo, death magic, and demonic cannibalism.
Right. Well,
I mean,
it was just so much thrown together. It was like it was very thrown.
Well,
together.
not only that, man. Look, the guy doesn't know shit about voodoo. He doesn't know shit about voodoo. Okay, yes, they use tobacco smoke in voodoo. I was not initiated in voodoo. I don't know shit about voodoo, but I know how to use tobacco.
That's funny.
I know how to use it in a ritual context. Okay, when you're trying to achieve an objective with tobacco, see, when you make offerings to the spirit, you can blow smoke upon the idol, and your breath mixes with the smoke. It lets the spirit know that this is from you because it has your pneuma. You're offering it what I call the breath of death. But when you're trying to achieve an objective, you put the cherry, the hot end of the cigar, in your mouth. You visualize your objective, and you forcefully blow it through the embers to heat the smoke, to make the spirit hot, to get the spirit to start working. But this dude's just blowing it on rotisserie chickens. And yeah, I mean, it was just a shame.
It was sad.
It was sad and pathetic. And not only that, in voodoo, when you're employing the lua, any other spirit, and like I said, I'm not an initiate, but I know I have respectful conversations with, well, Papa Smoke, a couple other voodooisant folks, you know. I've had decent relationships with them, and you don't go calling upon Gnostic demons in voodoo ritual. There was no singing, and let me tell you, in voodoo, there's gonna be some music.
I like the music.
People that don't want to butcher the Creole, they'll usually play the music but there's going to be music. It's just a part of the system. It's kind of like the lesser banishing ritual and ceremonial magic. The Lua, they have their music, they have their song. That's what draws them near. The music is like a sonic sigil. It attracts the specific spirit. Without that, you're not doing voodoo. It was a joke. The dude was high out of his mind. He was pissed off because I was still alive, still breathing. And I'm doing better and better and better every day.
And I think, again, like, comes back to, though, it when you have so much hate and you focus so, it's like, that's why it is so important. Even when somebody hates you or somebody's trying to cause you stress or whatnot, the more energy you give them, the more energy they can take. I mean, literally, as you're giving it to them, you're in their head. Don't. You are responsible for, and I get it. Sometimes it's hard. But like I said, I am an advocate. I will tell people, quit. Go get some counseling. Like, shit. I love my poor counselor. Probably doesn't love me. No, my cat. He loves, but it feels good because I guess because first of all they don't know you on a personal level. Well, mine does because I've known mine so long, but you can feel the non-judgment. I wouldn't say, like, if you live in a small town, go to another town if you can. Like, I get that. I live in small town Texas, and everybody in a in a tri-county area would know my business if I did. More than a
therapist. That dude needs a psychologist.
Some people, well, right, or rehab, like,
or a straitjacket.
And there's nothing wrong with any of it. Like, I've been there. I didn't have to rehab. My mom just threatened to literally. No,
I'm judging.
My mom literally threatened when I had my drug problem.
There's something wrong with that fool.
Well,
like I said, it's unfiltered, so
yeah.
My I'm like. My mom threatened to put her chain, like, oh my God, he knows, my mom is very judgmental and very, I see it now, narcissistic and whatever, and toxic, just toxic. I didn't realize it was, I just thought my mom was an angel, and this is what's crazy. I see it now, but it made me go get straight because she was threatening to come handcuff herself to me, and I know she was crazy enough she would. Like, that was part motivation other than my kids. Yeah, nah, like, you can, you can, because I've overcome things that, like, I was on, like, when I was on it, it's still one of the hardest to overcome, but it can be done. I'm no stronger than anybody else. I just looked at the reasoning to do it. So focus your mind on you, because the person that's focusing on you, they're already giving you more energy. You know what I mean? Like, but don't let them take from you.
So Christy, she asked an interesting question. I'm actually going to give my opinion on this one, and she wants to know, is using a Ouija board like using black magic? And before you guys get to it, I will say I don't believe so, and that's because it's just a tool. Think of it like a telephone. You have to know who you're dialing. If you don't, who knows who or what's going to pick up on the other side. So it's not like using black magic at all. I would say think of it more like a telephone and opening a door, more so than anything.
Right. Well, and see, I'm curious as to what, I know that Behemoth has done board work and stuff too, and he also knows my mutual friend, the one, well, I got his book over there, but Darren Evans. And see, Christy knows from Darren Evans and that whole the Zozo Demon House. Mm-hmm. That's how I met Christy. So I'm curious as to what Behemoth says, but I think it could be, well, it can be used. If you're a person that wants a board, I would make sure and you don't want it, you don't know where it's been, don't go buy an antique board. Don't go take one that somebody gives you like I did. um, because you do not know. I did know that mine had been used with magic before I had it, but I also understood the risk that I could be taking if I wasn't prepared, right? Um, I would limit time on it because, especially if you're new to it, some people get very, very addicted. It's interesting but it does happen. Um, and just watch your mental health. Always your mental health's the best. Um, I mean, I know you've had issues with the whole Zozo, Christy. So of course, for you, I would say don't. But they're for me, they're not just black magic. They can be used for it more or less if people want to. Kind of feel the same, or
Well, I have to define black magic, first of all, because a lot of people, there's a preconceived idea about what that is. You know?
well, I know she's from the paranormal
Magic.
side, so explain it in a simple.
Magic is magic, kind of like wind is wind. Magic creates change, whether we are talking about change within reality or change within self. Either way, if the magician maintains an alchemical mindset meaning transmutation of the dross of lead into gold, primitive human being to divine state of becoming, right? This is going to be a more positive effect. But a destructive person by nature who studies the occult is going to use magic in very destructive ways. It's the heart of the person that is creating magic, but the Ouija board in and of itself is a tool of divination. Just about every magician I know uses divination. So I don't believe that most people use them as tools of magic, but I believe they could be. I believe a person, for instance, who might not be psychically awakened, who doesn't have success in evocation, can bring a sigil on to a board, activate it, contact the spirit that they're calling upon, and compel it to task and get results. I believe that that same process can be used to get information from the spirit, but that's people don't have brains though, so they're not going to do that. But yeah, you could theoretically do it with angels as well as demons.
Right.
However, see, from a paranormal perspective, what I'm going to say is that spirits of the dead will oftentimes manifest on the infrared frequency of light, to where demonic or angelic spirits or pagan gods and goddesses, they operate on a different light frequency. So I don't know if you can authentically tap in through the board. See, you're never going to get any solid answer because there's no way of proving it. What I will say is, if you can contact an angel or a demon utilizing the board, get it to say, yes, I can do that, and then it occurs, then yeah, it's a tool of magic. Most people don't do that though.
There are a few people that think, it's Paranologies. I don't know if he's making these anymore, but the Paranologies company, had it was kind of like their spirit dial boxes, and they had one that was pendulum style, but then one that was a Ouija board, and it would use the air pressure or whatever, and literally it would go to the letters, and it had these LED lights to it would have this glow in the dark stuff. So every letter, so you would have enough time to watch the letters. That might be that kind of idea there. Putting the sigil up underneath it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, honestly, these are things that I always experiment with. And you got to understand that as an occultist, look, this is why, people ask me, a lot of people, believe it or not, they consider me a black magician because of how I came into this field. But truth be told, I'm an alchemist. I'm just as much of a scientist as I am a magician. So as a matter of fact, I'm more of a scientist. And I've got to be honest, in regard to utilizing a board, the reason why I won't trust it most of the time is because there's human beings involved.
Right. And
something like this that you're describing kind of helps to remove them more from the equation.
And that's why I'm going, thank you for the question, though, because it's like I want to get a hold of one of those now, because it could, what she's at, like it really could bring light. It'd be very interesting.
I mean, because you got to remember, we did a Ouija experiment where we contacted the serial killer, Richard Ramirez. It can be found on my channel.
Yeah, and
she completely shuts down my sight, puts earplugs in.
It's the gone spells.
Blindfolds me, and it helps to remove me from the equation, and that's the only way I get results with the board. But I can evoke a spirit, and I can get information that is fucking world changing. But I don't believe that human beings, even myself,
I'm a planche drill sergeant too. I'm like, when I've ever worked, like you're putting too much pressure, because you'll have people that will like put their weight down. Well, it's like, well, if you're putting 2 pounds on the tiny little, it's not gonna go anywhere. It is like you're just there. Or I'm really funny. Like you don't rest your elbows on your knees. You just kind of like let them droop. I don't even.
Well, you can feel it on the planchette. When my senses are cut off, you could feel someone else on the planchette. The thing will spin and move in ways that aren't just linear. It fishtails.
Right. Ways that I like.
You can just feel other spiritual potentials pulling on the thing. But when I'm conscious, forget about it.
But that's being a good.
But as a magician, I'm the same way. You see, when I'm using ritual, here's how it works for me. All the lights, the candles, the smoke, the scents, the colors, all of that shit overstimulates my conscious mind so I can get it out of the way. Shut it off. It gets me to a different place. So it's really the same with the board. I think that's what I have to do, is get rid of the conscious mind so that the energies can come through. We got to get ourselves out the way. That's a fundamental lesson in the occult, in martial arts, in life. How, we are all, for the most part, our worst enemy. We're our own worst enemy.
Yeah, that's the sad thing.
Yeah.
So 2 things. The first is that doll is creeping me right on out. Gosh. It's actually reminding me of Rose. She used to have 4 haunted dolls, and one of them actually, whatever spirit was attached to it, came through one day and said she liked the Beatles.
That is great.
I mean, it's a good group to like. I like the Beatles. Whoever doesn't, I can't trust you. Curtis, do you like the Beatles?
Yes.
Okay, well, I can trust you,
yes.
See. And the other thing is Noella actually has a very interesting question, and she wants to know Curtis.
Did you know Michael Jackson pretty much owned the Beatles?
Oh
Their
yeah, I
catalog?
remember an interview with Paul McCartney. He
Sorry.
said that
Squirrel.
he said
Yeah,
that when
squirrel.
Michael Jackson got the rights to all the Beatles IPs and everything, he thought Michael would give it to him and stuff, and he said that nope. Michael said, well, you know, Paul, it's just business. You know, so and Paul was not very happy.
What over language do they put a dot over an A? I don't know why I just did that.
Don't know.
I did over the I no J, but the A. I've never ever done that. Anyways, interesting. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. And Noella, she wants to know, for you, Curtis, how long does it usually take to stay in a session to contact something and get a message?
With a Ouija board, man, it's almost instantaneous. When you're first starting out in evocation, and intuitively, that's what she's talking about. Again, it's just about learning to get yourself out of the way. My best advice is to meditate daily. Okay? Meditate daily. Learn to reach this state of no mind. There is a story about Zen, and I've shared this on my channel recently, but a young man is going to study under a Zen monk. And the Zen monk is talking about specific principles, and the young lad, yeah, we practice this in this monastery too, in this way. The Zen monk brings up another teaching, and oh, okay, well, I did that this way. And finally, he sits them down to a cup of tea. The Zen monk, as he's listening to the young man, and he's listening intently, is pouring tea into the cup, and it starts to overflow. Well, the gentleman essentially freaks out. The cup is overflowing. You're getting me all wet. It's hot. Ow. The Zen monk says, exactly. How can you taste my cup of tea if your cup is already full? You're not going to get messages from the spirits until you learn to empty your cup. This is why draconian consciousness is taught as a foundation on my channel. This ability to reach a state of no mind, which is the state of gnosis. People think gnosis is stuff that you get from spirits. It's information. It's not. It's a state of being. Gnosis is living through what the Chinese called Wu Xin, or no mind.
Right.
When you're living in no mind, you know, people will think with the analytical part of the brain, that's stupidity. You're telling me to be stupid. No, I'm telling you to transcend human thought and to enter a state of knowing. There's a difference. People want to know where I get the knowledge that I have. It's because I can enter that state right here, right now, talking to anybody at any time. I don't have to be in a ritual.
Right.
I just shut myself off and let spiritual intelligence speak. So how long does it take? It could take 15, 20 minutes at first. You might fail sometimes at first. You might not get a goddamn thing at first. But the more you apply yourself, the quicker and easier it gets. And it's hard right now. You've got to understand that this is the process of initiation that's separating the wheat from the chaff. If you are meant to get results, you're going to stick with it. And then you'll be able to tap in at will. at any point in time. But until then, it takes work. That's why they call it spiritual work.
What I love about her question, though, it's to me, it shows that she's really trying to get to learn something, because I think a lot of people that really are doing the work have been there, where whether it be working with a sigil or working with a Ouija board, whatever. Like if you have your hands on the planche, all right, it's supposed to move, it's supposed to move, it's supposed to move. And you're like, now I'm just overthinking, it's supposed to move, now it's never going to move. And then, okay, so yeah, you're not no mind. You are so over expecting. You're so, and I get it, because that's what a person that to me is craving to learn does. Okay, and that's a healthy thing. I think it's just, it's excitement. It is wanting to see it work. It is, just being a scientist, or in your own way, to do your own and see how your own experience is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being able to fully channel is absolutely not. I mean, I'm sure for him, even he may get moments where his mind's full with other things, but he knows how to go back to that space, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen when you just blank and don't expect.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can do that with the board more than I can do it with most things, which is weird. Now sometimes I'll feel somebody else's kind of mind going through. I'm like, we're not getting anything, and I'll know why we're not. And you'll be sitting here. I'm like, I said, and I'll look. I said, it's you, because no, because and I think that's part of the mediumship, just being able to pick up somebody else's anxiety, right? The empath, whatever. Yeah, and I'm like, just let's chill out. Let's go. Are you scared? Are you nervous? Is this your first time?
Look, and that's the thing, man. There's so many variables. And this is what I'm saying. This is why I really prefer teaching. There's so many subtle variables and integers to this, because everybody is different. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, it's you. You come to this realization. Empathy is a huge thing. This is why I teach it to be the foundational psychic faculty. Without empathy, you're not a magician. So, okay, if someone lacks empathy, they may not get results simply because they cannot feel other people's energy. Empathy is what separates us from the beasts of the field. You know what I mean? We should be able to feel when somebody is down and out, so we can encourage them and help them and guide them into a better state of mind. We should be able to feel when somebody is happy, so we can experience that joy with them. And if we can't do those subtle human things, those things that make us human, we can't expect to feel the much more subtle spiritual essence of Astaroth or Lucifuge or Gabrielle. Mark Allen Smith in The Queen of Hell, he stated that much of the witch's craft is largely dependent on becoming very sensitive to very subtle energies. So that's really what it's about. You really got to still yourself. Mr. Joseph, you have a problem standing still, don't you? Keep hearing on shoe. Yeah, you got to still yourself, practice activating the sigils.
She's not wrong.
You know what's funny? I actually have the opposite of that problem. I'm too still.
Well, right. Then that makes you realize there's something. Okay, well, you have been, though. You've been working. This dude has been working out, y'all. I think we all need to give him a shout out. Pushing himself, because honestly, he's a Taurus. And it's like, no, he just is a chill, mellow person, and but for you to actually I want to have more muscular build or this or that, and you go for it though. that's what we're talking about. Everybody wants things handed to them. And there's a thing. Also, I think sometimes it's fear of failure, right?
Yeah. Well, I will say that you better believe if there was a magic pill, I would be popping that thing. So I'm just saying.
You cracked me up. Fear holds us back so much. Now, people don't realize I used to be, and I still am scared of heights, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to ride on the side of a mountain. I do want to someday either bungee jump, something like I have to, with the up high thing, I have to kind of step into it a little at a time. I've been on a plane, I've gone on roller coasters. We're getting there, but I'm trying to go for every fear. A year ago or about 2 years ago, I almost stepped on a stake years ago, and it had me terrified because it was a copperhead in it. I guess I scared it too because I didn't know that snakes could kind of jump or spring. It went at my foot, and I said, "That stick!" And I knew it wasn't a stick, but I said stick because they look so much like broken stick, and I realized it, and I'm jumping. I just kind of, I don't know. It was kind of a weird karate looking move. I just flew for a second. I don't know how I did it. It was really kind of cool. But this thing pops up, and I'm like, and I'm banging on the door. And my mom, remember, this is my mom. Oh, I could hear her on the phone griping to my sister. She's banging on the door, being dramatic. I'm like, oh my God, she's got the glass door. I can see them in there. And it was locked. And this thing, and last I knew, it was jumping at my foot. So I was frightened to death, right? But I've held this, I think it was a boa, red-nosed boa or whatever. She was over 9 foot long, beautiful creature, and
it's not the same snake. A copperhead will fuck you
up. Right, but I held a snake though, because all snakes I've been frightened.
Yeah, all snakes are evil in her mind. So
well, and I didn't realize they would be heavy, and I felt so bad. But I go, and it was like I heard thump. I said, "Oh my God, I dropped her butt," And, but anyway, it's something I've gone after things that have scared me. And where did you go? And I'm sorry, I'm not just looking at a weird.
Be able to see. He ain't gonna want to see all that light either.
But there is a baby. They call it a baby tarantula. Obviously, spiders.
$30 bug. Yeah.
Why do you have that?
Huh?
Why do you have that?
Because I want to find a bond with this creature.
What is wrong with you?
I'm wanting to face fears.
I mean, you could face fear. Go to the zoo. They let you touch tarantulas. I mean, why do you need that in your house?
I've pet a jellyfish. You can top if you pet the tops, you're okay.
She's probably secretly trying to get superpowers, man.
Hang on, sorry. Okay. Melvin. We're gonna face your fears.
Well, I have many fears, but it's you have to do a lot. Okay, so here's the thing about me.
Okay. You want to try?
Hey, you better not be sending anything over here either. This is my sanctuary, and I will flip out. And I swear to God, I will come for you. Yeah. COVID or not, I will leave this house and I will come for you.
You say you'll come? Is that how I'm going to get you here?
It wouldn't be a nice visit.
You'd be so worn out by the flight and everything.
So here's something that's. Oh well, first I have to say, hello, Jenny. Welcome. So here's the thing. I'm not afraid of snakes. I like snakes. I have no issue with snakes. But like Bonnie, you don't believe me when I say this, and I try to warn you time and time again. I have a very nasty, bad temper. It takes a while. That doesn't scare me. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't scare me. And when I hit that limit, just watch out. And you never believe that for some reason. And it's like, I'm warning you again.
How many years have I known you?
You've known me enough. That tells you it takes a lot to get me there. But
you are so you just do not realize how sweet and kind you truly are. But I have noticed that not like you're still the same person, but I've watched you grow. 2 years ago, you would have never asked magic questions. And it's weird because, like, you might not be planning on doing something, but it's crossing your mind, so your mind is thinking magically.
Well,
And I love that.
I like understanding things that has my interests. I'll put it that way. I just, I like knowing stuff.
Well, and it's funny though. You seem to know a lot. Like a couple of things that I've told him. It's like, listen to what Melvin said, and we both kind of grin like, whoa. He's listening, he's just learning. Somehow it's being absorbed.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are some people who want to know simply for the sake of knowing. They want to know different perspectives.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're keeping an open mind, so they're asking questions, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? There's far too many magicians who, honestly, they can't get very far because they have a closed mind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I have
very
to
limited and closed mind.
I have to ask
Someone
you this.
with an open mind, they're growing regardless. Spiritually, they're growing regardless.
Do you think that they could? I mean, is there anything like, let's say a person's knows their self enough to know that they have, for the most part, a closed mind? What would you suggest for a person that wants to work on that per se? Because that, I mean, you know what I mean. You have to kind of do the steps.
Yeah, read shit that makes you uncomfortable and try to understand that perspective.
Fear.
It's not even about fear.
Well,
it's about getting outside of your own fucking head. There's too many Christians that hate all these religions, but they've never read the books.
Fear, everything. It's at the underlying. It's some weird thing that we think we're supposed to do or say or think.
Yeah, for some it is fear. For others, it's just flat out willful ignorance. For others, it's literal stupidity. No, I mean, I'm not judging, but I'm judging. Yeah. I can't stand stupid. I can't stand fucking stupid.
I understand.
Stupid is a choice.
Ignorance. Right, willful ignorance.
Stupid is a fucking choice, man. You know?
Yeah.
It's not a dig at low IQs. Stupidity for me, it's a choice. People choose to act stupid. People choose to act irresponsible. It's all a choice.
Or ditzy.
I make stupid fucking decisions.
Right. Well, I was mad and I killed them. Well, guess what? A lot of people get mad and they don't kill people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or,
yeah.
Well, and that's like when one person will sit there and try to plead the insanity plea. I get it, but
anybody who kills somebody is insane.
There are so many. Right.
You're not sane if you're killing somebody.
Right.
There's something mentally wrong.
Well, you know what? This kind of goes back full circle. This goes back full circle because how many people have been trying to kill you? And now we know they're not sane.
No.
It's sad, though. I mean, it's honestly, and it didn't have to be that way. And it's
a choice.
Yeah, it's their choice, and it ends up hurting them in the long run.
Yeah.
And it's like
my life ain't getting fucked up.
Like, we're not. When we say we're not hurting, we're really not hurting.
We're really not hurting. We're constantly doing better.
We laugh. I mean, it's.
Fuck, we went out and went to. Not Fort Minor.
Wait, are you serious, Christy?
Fort Parker, which is
Fort Parker, yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to say that, like, this is jacked up. So Christy she just said that her church won't let her back because she had a kid out of wedlock. They kicked her out and she had to go to another church. What kind of backwards mess is that?
Is Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah, she'll answer. I'm pretty sure if it's
But yeah, Christy, I'm sorry. And that's the thing. For me personally, I had a church tell me to literally stay in an abusive marriage. Because my ex was trying to play the whole God, well, it says you're not supposed to blah, 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 right? And I was like, oh, the God thinks I'm supposed to get to beat the fuck up. All right, well, I don't need this God. Any God that doesn't,
That's messed up. I was, a lot of people don't know this, but I actually have the equivalent of a 2-year Bible degree.
It's a true story, though. What I said, it's sick.
And these people were willing to take my money, But you see, I started to actually study the Greek and the Hebrew, and I started to figure out what the Bible actually said outside of the denomination. And they pretty much told me that churches are governed. Free thought is not allowed. Within this Bible school, they accuse us of brainwashing. I'm quoting. I know you hear people say that, and it's true. We are here to wash your brain of all the filthy sin. You cannot be a pastor within this church thinking for yourself.
You know, that makes me think.
You are a heretic. You have a child out of wedlock anyway, so you cannot be a pastor.
That's so
You motherfuckers took my money, though.
You know, this is why did this just a Pink Floyd popped in my head? We don't need no education. We don't need no what?
Thoughts control.
Hey, teacher.
It's almost like you have to uneducate yourself to educate yourself.
You know, yeah, man. Like, I thought about putting out a hypnosis program to make people unprogrammable.
Well, what was it Christopher
to get
asked
people
earlier?
back to their original divine given thought process. You know what I mean?
Christopher asked, well, what are my in school for? You're supposed to be there to learn things. But you know what I mean? It's weird. It's all about what the where it is that, or we need $5 for you can wear hats on a Friday.
These schools want more and more motherfucking money, man. I'm about to go beat the brakes off a motherfucker at these
and
schools.
it's like, well, who gets
What's
the money?
wrong
He goes,
with people?
And he's like, kids, let's say whatever. Probably the president, the principal.
It goes in the principal's pocket.
Well, he's probably not
Allegedly.
too wrong.
Like he's kidding.
We don't know.
Well, don't worry. I'll say it. You guys don't have
to. Students are in this school? 400?
In the whole school? Like, there are 8.
8? Imagine if 400 of those 800 kids bring in $5 to wear a hat on Friday, every Friday.
That is so ridiculous. Why do you have to pay to wear a hat? Wait a second. Why do you have to pay to wear? What if you say, I have to wear this hat because it's for my religious belief? Do you then discriminate and say, no, you can't wear that? Like, what happened? That's what I would do. I'd just be like, okay, from now on, your name is Ahmed, and this is your hat. You have to wear
it. Very well. They learned with my oldest that I don't play.
Oh, okay.
I'm not stupid, and you just can't sell me something. And I am not. See, guess what? I'm not. I don't sit in those church pews anymore, so I'm not just going to believe whatever you tell me. I'm going to learn rules. I'm going to look at that actual student handbook, and I'll per the handbook page. Some people they'll try.
I'll look at it and be like, I don't give a fuck about your handbook. You ain't going to take this kid's human fucking rights.
So.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Go crazy. Doll, she's asked this several times, so I'm going to ask you guys. Otherwise, she's going to curse me out, and I don't need that. What is the most terrifying entity that you guys have encountered?
The most terrifying entity for me was the div of evil mind. His name was Akomana. Yeah, I still have nightmares about that experience. That was the very first text that I published. And that was the start of it all, that encounter with that demon.
What did it look like?
was just a black robe, no face, black smoke. But where the face should be was like blacker than black. It was like the void.
Interesting.
It was almost like a tunnel into the collective subconscious of mankind. And he was the gateway to Ahriman. And he is the gateway to Ahriman in Persian lore. Ahriman being the first devil of mankind, the first god of evil. He was more terrifying than Ahriman because he could insert thoughts. He could make me feel like those thoughts were mine. I had to question myself. And there were times where I was on the brink of insanity. And if, let's just say it could have been possible for me to not find myself. There were people that knew me my entire life who did not recognize me. It took me to a different place, a dark place, a dark fucking place. The dark night of the soul, people would call it, for the most part, this new age idea, you know. But it was terrifying, yeah. Not just because of the physical manifestation, because, yeah, I saw this thing with my fucking physical eyes. It affected me physically. It touched me. I heard it speaking and hissing.
Was it one of those kind of fears where you
I felt the cold wind, but it also manifested in my life as mental instability, emotional turbulence, and things like that. So it permeated everything. But that's how I started to come to know that spirits, there's this argument within the occult that between those who believe that these demons and angels are just parts of our psyche, and then there's this other school of thought, of course, which is that they are sentient, conscious beings that exist outside of self. Well, this is how I learned that both are true, and therefore both are lies. I know that doesn't make sense to many, but this is Akomana starting to come through. It's mind fuckery. But yeah, that was the most terrifying for me.
Oof.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Was gonna say Wendigo, but you talking about that blackest of black. I actually refer to it darker than pitch black. And you wouldn't see it in the dark, like, oh, it's, or you would in a weird way because it's
the darkness. It superimposes itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys, maybe you know what it is? Maybe you know what it is, Melvin. Right, because everybody's like black. Well, let's see. No, it's so different. But you know, like the green suits that somebody will wear with the green, whatever.
Green Lantern.
But but like a bodysuit.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Green Lantern?
No, is she a green? I know what you're talking
More
about.
More like a Power Ranger, but pitch black all the way. No silver, no nothing.
About the
bodysuits that they use in like
the ninja suits that they wore in the theaters, the Japanese theaters.
Where they just like, yeah, they're stuck completely to the skin.
Or like the ones they use for video games. Or
for video.
Put the little,
well, those are motion captures, but she's talking about a green screen outfit. I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Right. That's in this hall.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
Yeah, there we go. And
I don't react to it anymore, but I walk in and it stops you because it looks like it could go and push you. It is very solid. I didn't know it was a book. Extremely solid. And it says nothing. I can't hear it. I remember the first time I was like, I gotta pee, and some people have heard this, but I run to go to the bathroom and I stop because my first thought his dad had broken in the house somehow. And he, like, I thought he'd come from the kids' room to the bathroom, and I almost bumped into it, and then I'm thinking, I have to just turn around and act like I don't see it, even though I stopped. But I did. Like, I don't gotta pee anyway. I said it out loud, I guess, so that I'm leaving. You can do whatever you want. Because I was trying not to react at that time. There was so much fear. I had alarms going to my phone if motion detection was caught, or this or that. And that's when, at the same time, I caught the big shadow figure walking through the back hall. The whole time. And it wasn't a few days after that, I'd woken up, and I know more now psychically what it looked like was more probably a cloud of, but what it felt like, I could feel like somebody like standing over me, like, but floating, like here I'm laying in bed, but it was floating over me, saying, but turned towards me, like face to face, freaky weird shit, right? And all I remember was my guide, and I didn't even know her name at the time. She's like, "Don't open your eyes. You will not be able to handle it." I'm like, all right, I'm good. That's the thing, though. I listened, and I think I'm glad I did. I'm glad I took my time. Of course, now I just dive in a lot more. But if I ever have that feeling that I'm not, let me tell you, I will listen to it. I knew at that time I would not be able. I think it was all from the same collective energy. But the one that's really solid I can't actually physically hurt.
It don't happen no more. I can't get scared.
Right. For me,
after Black Magic Environment, it's not gonna happen. And when I do, I get into kill mode. Like, there's no flight when it comes to spirituality. There's only fight. I am ready for war. Like, fear is not something I'm stupid enough to feel when it comes to spirits, because the ones that eat that shit, once they get a taste of it, they'll capitalize on it. They can read your worst nightmares. And what we need to understand is that how these spirits manifest, it's really predicated by our subconscious predisposition to that potential within the fabric of reality. So however it's manifesting, that's me and my subconscious knee-jerk response to that power. I'm creating that. I'm scaring myself, so I know that I'm in control. So I'm willing to go to war with this shit, because I know I am creating it just as much as it is interacting with me.
A lot of these spirits have a primal side. Realize that they're going to read your body.
Yeah, and when
they're going to read the energy in the air. It's a lot like the empaths, though. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, empaths feel everything." Don't think that's so easy.
Well, hold on. Yeah, don't be an asshole, though. See, that doesn't mean be an asshole and go bossing spirits around, because it's not the same. There's the difference between being a kind-hearted individual with good intentions, looking to respect these potentials, and then being pushed too far, and that human being saying enough is enough and drawing that line. There's a difference between that and the person doing this chain rattling, sigil torture, evocation, and threatening with the names of God. And you know, half of the people don't even know what these names of God mean.
And what kills me is, like, I've had people tell me, "Well, I had a horrible first experience." I said, "Well, I'm thinking, were you rude?" Like, and I don't mean that, because if you come up to meet Curtis and you're like, "Hey, motherfucker," you know, but with a nasty tone, guess what? He's going to come back at you with "What's up, motherfucker?" too.
Yeah. You don't get banana trees.
You're coming to them, okay?
Yeah.
Don't come at them with I owe it. You are not entitled, especially when it comes to primal type energy. Please, no. Sorry, I'm just blink. I don't understand people that think they're so special that they can go to something primal and be like, All right now.
Well,
Like some
clearly,
used
you
car
know,
salesman.
you have not awakened your God particle and gone Super Saiyan and all that.
The God particle.
For me, I
But yeah, I mean, these things aren't pretty. You know what I mean? It can be fucking scary for most, and I get it. But it's all in a day's work. I mean, God,
Don't feed it if you don't want it there.
you know, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? And this is the thing. The more I come to know, the more I realize I don't know shit. That's paraphrasing Socrates or somebody, some fancy pants Greek philosopher,
Mm-hmm.
right? I could die and go to hell tomorrow, and my power could be nothing. I could be spiritually paralyzed and unable to defend myself, and I could burn in hell for eternity. I could be wrong.
I was actually told that that's my fear. Many, 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 many years ago, when I was about 12 or 13, I had a dream, very rare that I dream, and it was a bright day. It was in a mountainous area, and I remember walking up, and someone was at the top there, and it was none other than Jesus himself, Jesus. And he told me, Melvin, you're going to burn. And I was like,
Damn.
oh. And yeah, so that was my scariest experience. I don't think it was actually him. I think it was a dream, and I just
That would be a weird feeling, though. Yeah.
just you're going to burn. Like, nope, it's no saving. You're going to burn.
No question. No. Hey,
No,
can
you're
you
going
just
to burn. And it's like, well, why'd you have to tell me on this beautiful mountain with the sun out?
Well,
You know?
here's the thing, man, and this is the issue, though. You start studying the actual Greek and the Hebrew, and you start understanding what the Bible actually says, and you know that all that is bullshit. So, and I say I could be wrong, that doesn't mean that, no, my worldview has been under scrutiny, and it stood up under scrutiny. My philosophy is far older than the Christian church. What I teach is not new. I'm just bringing forth very ancient wisdom using the Abrahamic model, minus God and Satan, because we are God and Satan.
Well, you teach actual. It's, I would say, in its own weird way, but it's more of a God, goddess, creator type of love and understanding, because it is true, unconditional love. See, I was raised with a God that had conditions.
Yeah.
A lot, right? But loved. Okay, he loved you so much that he gave his only. It sounded like toxic abuse, control. We want you to depend on. It was like, what were we talking about today? That it was like, whoa, like it's always there that we are not supposed to empower ourselves in any way in Christianity, guys.
Well, yeah, you mentioned something. You said, well, isn't it the case that God only helps those that help themselves? Right? I said, no, that's not biblical. The Bible says all of our righteousness is as filthy rags in the eyes of the Lord, that none of our works are going to get us into heaven.
But why is it Christian people will throw that quote out there?
Because the Christians, they
don't read their
Bible.
Right.
That's not biblical.
And it just blew my, at that moment, I'm like, wow, they try to twist it for anything. And I say there are some good ones. There really are. But they know their Bible like a Satanist does, is what I'll say. And that's what blows my mind. I do not think that
Satan knows the Bible better than most Christians. He's a part of the fucking story.
Right. That's what
And
kills
this is
me.
why these Christians are so
It
scared of me. Because I know the Bible better than them.
And
I live by that book better than them.
Right.
And just like Jesus, just like fucking Jesus Christ, they try to call me a devil worshiper.
It's like, how are my God and your God so different? Like it would just...
Christ said, walk in my footsteps. Well, Christ descended into hell. He descended into hell. This is biblical. What do you think black magicians are doing? How come it's a miracle when Jesus does it, but it's black magic when we're trying to do it?
If you ever, of course there are parts say, and this has been, and then of course the church will say, oh, that's just a wives' tale. That's not really true. That's not a real biblical text. No, because you refuse to put it in the Bible. But if you look
no,
up the
it's in the fucking Bible.
Well, no,
Jesus went to hell.
The Gospel of Judas. Where Jesus is like, y'all don't know who are y'all praying to. Like, Jesus is telling them, who the hell are you talking to, my disciples? Like, because he goes, that's not my father. Of course that's not in the Bible.
Maeve wants to know, what would you recommend to someone who wanted to work with, and I'm about to butcher this name, Shimha Meforaj?
The Shem M. Farash.
Yeah, that's as good as it's gonna get for me. Yes.
It wasn't bad.
Oh, you're one. Miss Texas Witch over here talking some nonsense.
Shem Farash.
The Shem Hem Farash is the 72 names of God. You know, I honestly would actually read the Sefer Yetzirah as a beginning to align yourself with a more Kabbalistic current. But look up the 72 angels, and what I would recommend is meditating on the scripture that is associated with each angel. Just look up the 72 names, print them off. And as you're reading the Sefer Yetzirah and you're contemplating it, or, you can choose the Zohar, but, really start studying the angels, and the ones that start to stand out to you, start to memorize the scriptures that are associated with them, That's going to bring them actively into your life experience, and then make room for them. Now, I'm telling you to look at the Sefer Yetzirah and the Zohar. These are sort of like Kabbalistic texts. Do you need to get up and get the charger?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So with that being said, you could start in a logical order within Malkuth, within the Kabbalah, and for instance, begin with Sandalphon.
All right, I'm going to go grab it.
Why do I know Malkuth? Where's that from, Curtis?
It's the earth.
Is that an emanation?
Why is it? It's
the 72 angels. It's the antithesis of the 72
when you
demons
said it,
of the
I could
Goetia.
feel. I wasn't aware, but it is very comforting. The word itself. I don't know why. It just kind of was like had this peaceful flow after you said it. It was just very quick, but it was interesting.
Yeah, you have to look at the Shem Hem Foresh and the Goetia as polarities on a battery. You have to look at yourself as the battery itself. Those are the two polarities. Within the yoga traditions, these are the Ida and Pingala. The solar and lunar aspects of self, the conscious, the subconscious mind, right? You need both polarities. This is something that most won't agree with. Most won't agree with that. But I'm telling you that it's logically true. It only makes sense because this knowledge and wisdom has been taught since Sumer and Akkadian. This devil versus God thing is pretty generic, and the New Age religion that the Bible warns of, ironically.
I always consider it a human-made concept because with every story, you need a hero, you need a villain, and you just have to have one. If there is no villain, one is created, and if there's no hero, one is created or evolves into the hero. Just like good versus evil. I think we are capable of evil and bad deeds, but I don't believe in inherent evil. I think you have to be taught to be a prick. But then saying that, I don't know. Sometimes you get those little babies that are born and
Yeah,
they
well,
pee
I
in
mean,
your face.
even even if you're taught indirectly, even if someone doesn't sit there and teach you, it's, Belial taught me a lot about this. It's essentially environmental stimulus. If you fertilize a plant, you give it the right amount of water, it's going to thrive. If you give a plant too much water, it's going to drown. If you don't give it enough, it's going to die. Right? Different plants take different amounts of water. You can't drown a fucking bonsai tree like you can a bamboo plant. You just can't. So, same thing, when we're in the proper environments, we can grow up as sane individuals within society, right? Under adverse circumstances, abusive circumstances, psychologically traumatic circumstances, yeah, we can create serial killers. Serial killers are created.
Oh,
We don't just learn how to be pricks,
so
we
sorry. Go ahead, Curtis.
we're all acting, even when we are pricks. I mean, we've got to admit this. Most people are acting how they feel they have to act in order to survive in this fucked up world. They think they're doing the right thing. No one thinks that they're evil.
Well, you know what? This kind of takes me to the karma thing you mentioned, because no bad guy thinks or believes they're the bad guy. Their actions are justified. And to me, if you're justified in your actions, you believe you're doing what's best for you or whomever, then does karma apply to you? Is there actually a negative connotation to your actions?
Yeah, because there is truth. See, we lie to ourselves all the time. As human beings, we know people who lie so much that
They can't even tell the truth.
they
get lost.
Yeah, like they literally believe their lies. So there comes a point where life is not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. There is right and there is wrong, and it is inherent. We know what's right and we know what's wrong. We are more inclined to be serial killers when the environmental stimulus creates that and brings that out in us. But the potential for great good is within that same child. Right? Yeah, the thing is, karma, it's not this, like, if you do bad shit's gonna come back to you. No, people have this misconception about karma. Good karma is simply being able to take your past experiences and use what you have learned to be more present. You are in good karma. If your past experiences keep you thinking about the past, or they have you worried about the future, that is taking you out of the moment. That's bad karma.
It almost sounds like wisdom in a way. Use the wisdom that you've gained, use that knowledge, or
It's very
Yeah,
Don't
to
use
live
it.
according to wisdom is to harvest good karma.
And that's the thing, is here we are talking about that now. Anybody any Christian, any normal Christian, my family, anybody in this town hear us talking, because we are not saying, oh, Sky Daddy and blah blah. What was that?
Spider got out.
Shut up! It did not. You kind of scared me.
Gonna bite you in your lip.
No, something weird. I don't know what it was. Anyway.
You turned into a girl right there. Oh, no, it didn't. Like, that's the first time I ever saw you turn into a girl.
But be so harshly judged, and like, here we are really trying to talk about people empowering better their own lives to do something good, right? But we're looked at as evil. Like, and they're preaching war, hate, selfishness, greed, anger. I mean, I'm just so confused. I mean, of course, what did the Bible say, if we want to go there? At the end of days, what is good will be like.
Well, yeah, when Christ turned the tables on the money changers, that was an analogy. It was foreshadowing Revelations, the age of the apocalypse, where that which is good would be called evil, and that which is evil would be called good.
And if you've ever been on the fence, if you have questions and you're still going to church, do not ask questions. Ask questions. Now, always make sure to look it up and know your answers too. But seek the preacher.
Guys, the Bible isn't bad. Going to a preacher that is going to tell you to maintain in an abusive relationship is bad. When Christ came and he sat with tax collectors and prostitutes, and your church excommunicates you because you have a child out of wedlock. When Jesus Christ himself brought a prostitute to his right hand and allowed her to walk with him. These motherfuckers want to say that they're Christian?
They don't have Jesus' heart.
Wasn't Jesus born out of wedlock?
Well,
I mean,
technically,
some angel got freaky with Mary,
too.
All right? So
I mean, technically, he's a demigod too. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. I usually compare him to
Jesus Christ. Also, look up the scripture of Jesus Christ proclaiming to be the morning star. What?
Oh.
Where was that at? Oh my gosh. Regardless, the morning star is Lucifer. It's Venus.
What were the three wise men? I'm sorry,
the three wise men?
What do you think they were?
They were Zarathustrians. Persian Magi.
Magi.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Bonnie.
No, I just know your Bible, because I kind of would laugh. Because when I started my divorce, he would throw all the God comments at me. But I read my Bible and I fought fire with fire. It was an eye for an eye. Okay. And I don't mean to be funny, but I knew how to beat him in his own game. Because he wasn't, I knew I knew that he was just trying to use control to get me back, to make me feel like a horrible person and I wasn't good enough as Christian or whatever. And I had to sit there and no, he's using God, or he's using God to control you, right? And I started having to tell myself and remind myself that, because then I could prepare anything he would send me. Of course, he would like to be one of those that'd be cute with the little Bible verses. Well, I'd send them back as an art. I would argue literally through Bible verses. It was so bad. I won.
And this is what Christians do. They beat each other with scripture.
Why
it's
do you
like
think Satanists know the Bible?
You know what I'm saying?
They're
Come
smart.
on, man.
And that's the thing. It's like, I will say Danny Helms in Denton, Texas.
And what spiritual work is there? There's nothing spiritual about Christianity.
Right. And you know what, Danny? The one preacher I will give props to, he goes, don't trust me. And he's holding the Bible. He goes, read it for yourself. He said, I'm just a man. I can sin. I can be telling you what I want you to believe. I'm like, I got chills because that's still to this day.
But a lot of preachers say that bullshit
I've never heard
because they know people are too fucking lazy and they're not going to do it.
No, but he would get, he would have you look at rebut them. He was just different, but I've heard
I understand.
I had never really had them. Here
yeah. And Detroit, you hear the same shit everywhere. You know what I mean? They know nobody's going to read that fucking Bible. You got to be able to fucking, you got to have an IQ to read the Bible.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm judging. Do you motherfuckers know that the newspaper, when it used to be filled with facts and not subjective opinions influenced by politics, it was written at a 6th grade reading level so that people could understand it. I got into journalism, worked for fucking Page One when I was in high school or some shit. And they said, dude, you couldn't be a journalist. Because I had college level writing skills since I was in 6th grade. I'm too wordy. I'm a Gemini. I couldn't write. I'm not capable of writing at a 6th grade reading level. I'm not capable of giving a fuck about anything that's written at a 6th grade reading level. That means you want me to be not smart enough to pick up on lies. So I don't want nothing to do with it. It's lies.
I don't mean this as
if I don't have to think my way through something, I'm good. I'm bored.
I don't mean
There's
this as
so
an
much
insult,
to think
but
through in the Bible, though.
I get the too wordy. I get that.
Yeah.
I got the opposite though. You don't say enough because I'm to the just why it's no need to just say it, get it done with, and go. You know,
get it done.
That's what I always got. You need to say more, express more. I don't have it. There it is. I said it. So I get the two words.
Look, I had to tell my agent the same thing. You know, I really did. Like, look, to be honest, in a year, if I could have a consult with somebody once a month, and this is why I started the apprentice program. Once a month, and for the most part, I can teach somebody everything I know. It is not that complicated. It doesn't mean that they're going to finish the lifetime of work that goes behind doing it all. But methodologically, philosophically, cosmologically, and practically, how to perform rituals, how to reach specific objectives through magic, yeah, I could teach people the method in a year. I said, you know, I'm still a student. I don't know everything. I can't just pump out more and more and more and more and more shit, and I don't want to have to. But man, yeah, it's like not that complicated. It really isn't rocket science. Once you get the underlying key principles, you start to realize that it's all the same bullshit.
Speaking of principle, you know how I like to see it as well, though, and this could just be me. I like seeing it as understanding the basics to make it your own and create your own uniqueness, whether it's magic or whatever it is you do. Because I don't think you can actually take something that someone else has created, their work. I think you can expand on it, you can learn from it, but I think we all have to create our own and make it unique to us.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. There's a point in time where you get that. The foundation has to be laid, though. And that's the thing. There's too many self-made magi. They're just not qualified. And I know from experience. And I know I'm talking shit, but it's just the truth. I've had people that booked 2 consultations with me, and now they're writing under Become a Living God. Like, just not qualified. You're just not. You got to know that you have to apply yourself through discipline to gain enough personal power to be able to go through specific initiations.
Well,
these initiations manifest in your life in specific ways.
Well, I'll quote you. Obviously, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding.
It's in the work.
Point is, and it's the same in martial arts. You know, there's a lot of people that think a black belt is skilled. No, the journey has just begun. You know the basics. That's what the rank of Shodan means. You know the basics. It can take 10 years to get to that rank. Then you know the basics. At that point, you can then be an artist. At that point, the scientific discovery, the scientific foundation, you can start experimenting it according to your own needs, desires, your own artistic liberty, right? But without that solid foundation, what's going to happen is you can sit there behind any fucking computer screen, write whatever the fuck you want, and get people extremely hurt.
Yeah, like super psychics.
Burn the Ouija board. Right. Shit like that.
Seriously, no, I mean, like, this is why you don't buy. I thought you
calling on Saklas, who is the demiurge, while you're working with specific Lua.
Yeah.
No, bro. And you don't even got the balls to sacrifice your chicken. You're going to take 2 fucking rotisserie chickens that you got out of these dirty ass pots.
Jab a hook in his butt.
Like, yeah, come on, man. Like, see, this is what I'm saying. You don't even have the foundation, bro. And you're trying to be an artist, not knowing that you just can't make that work.
So we're gonna sling a little mud here. Okay. You guys know as well as I do, people are very quick to say, "Oh, I'm going to get Valio on you, and I'm going to sick him," you know, because he's an attack dog. I think it's stupid, personally, because it makes no sense to me, and it's just stupid. But what is that like? Like, do they do that, deities, spirits? Like, if you tell them go and bite him in the butt, you know, get them.
Are you gonna work for the person that is willing to help themselves and would, is be more loyal to you? Or are you going to the one that only wants you when you need
You know, as you can guess, I'm thinking about Triple P, and them.
I mean, that's all I have.
You know.
Is how I mean. They don't. I mean, but they're also type of deities. There is no true logic, but they also, knowing them energetically, just like animals, they're going to be more respectful when something's respectful towards them.
Yeah, and it just
seems... and you being used by a soft.
Yeah, a spirit will fucking kill you. Yeah, it will fucking kill you. No, not right now. A spirit will fucking kill you, without a doubt. Here's the thing, though, bro, and I want to make this clear for everybody because I don't want people to get the idea that this sick Belial like a dog on somebody is authentic, because that's not the case either. You see, occult power has its own inherent system of checks and balances. In other words, if you are a divine consciousness, if you are illuminating, you are, because of your light, you will naturally compel the shadows according to will. Yeah,
You can then say, you know what? Enough is enough. Echo, echo, Belial. Echo, echo, Belial. Echo, echo, Belial. And once you make that link, you say, enough is enough. Destroy them. And yeah, Belial sees you as God. That's why. Because you have light. You have the light of Lucifer. You have higher consciousness, and so you are not abusing power. This sort of consciousness doesn't curse to serve ego. This sort of consciousness works towards the greater good of all.
It's very akin to feeling that.
There's my explanation.
When you go and finally say enough is enough, it's like that. I mean, to people that have children, it's that this to spank you or get onto you hurts. Like,
yeah, right.
This hurts me more than it hurts you. If you're doing it with that kind of
because you understand that we are all scales on the body of the one dragon.
Because it is going to hurt.
And I cannot be upholding the draconian essence, the totality, the no thing which permeates all that is, if I am destroying
another part of it. Yeah.
Another part of it. However, some people are like cancer cells within the body. And we as magi are obligated to do something about them.
Interesting. It's
we are tools of the divine.
It's almost like, okay, we need all of our body parts, our inner organs, the things that keep us moving and going and are ticking, right? Or now the cancer spot that grows within us, that can be snatched out and removed. If your eye offends you,
pluck it out. Yeah.
You see, this is all too complicated for me. I'd rather just punch someone and be done with it. And I do like to say, if you can...
Let's just say, when you have people that will unblock you to make others look like, literally, this is what she did. I'm unblocked. I unblocked Bonnie. And then they go block me the next day or 2 days later. I'm like, no. I know what you're doing, and I don't
see, that's the thing, though. It's not about punching people. No, dude. It's not about punching people. That's the fucking point. That serves ego. I'm talking about someone rapes your wife, and they go and walk. The cops, the court system does nothing. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, man, that's justice.
I'm not talking about punching somebody. See, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, this ain't about ego. You know what I mean? We got to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves, for real. Yeah. I mean, this shit has purpose. And it makes me sick when motherfuckers do that. They act like Belial is a lapdog. Like, bitch, go somewhere with that. You ain't got the power.
Yeah,
you're gonna sick Belial on me. Why? Because you didn't like a Facebook post I made? Fuck off.
Right. They're not your pets.
No. They're far more intelligent and more evolved. And if they see a meth addict standing in a triangle, no offense to anybody who is suffering from drug addiction, but that person has not enough mastery over themselves to have the inner light to compel the shadows, according to will, to work towards the greater good of all. And this is what people need to understand, is that light and darkness are not mutually exclusive. They are mutually dependent. Whenever a light is shined, a shadow is cast. The reason I can see you, you can see me, I can see you, is because there is both light and darkness in this room. Absolute light and absolute darkness are equally blinding.
Right. And just because there are books on drug-induced hypnosis, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's okay to practice it, especially if you know going in, okay, I have an addictive personality. Then don't, you know what I mean? Like, please just try to use wisdom.
Yeah, it's about using wisdom, because the poison path is a thing. The poison path is a fucking thing.
But it's
Look,
not good for
since
people.
the beginning of time, people have been using herbs, roots to alter their state of consciousness. But it's not the same as methamphetamines bought off the fucking street.
Right.
We're talking about shamans that are trained for fucking years.
Or don't do it to make it an excuse to do it.
Yeah.
That's not.
Because it's not about getting
learning?
high.
Yeah,
Like, you know, you have people that literally will eat mushrooms daily to get high. I'm like, that would be spiritually and psychologically exhausting. Do you know how much work it is to trip spiritually? You're stretching your consciousness well above and beyond its normal limits. And there's people that treat this shit as a means to get off, to just get high.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's not it.
Well,
the poison path is an authentic path, and it should be respected, though.
Right. And be one of those, like, if you have an addictive personality, then, you know, it's okay to not. You don't have to do everything to be
that kind of shit. It doesn't need to be made. It's public and readily available to all. But this is the age of the apocalypse. All that is occulted is being revealed.
Right. Wouldn't say don't do it, but be careful.
There's a means to an end, man. And no, don't do it out of some fucking book. You gotta go to someone who can guide you.
Yeah, no, they have all kinds of places now.
Yeah,
more
and there
all
are.
The time. More and more.
Yeah, there's places like, you know, these ayahuasca retreats.
The one that I was telling you the other day, I giggled because it just sounded really weird. It was like, I don't know what they're trying to do, putting some tantra in there with it. It just sounded really weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? No, I'm okay. But
that's normal.
For some people would like that and maybe could really take from it. I wish I could remember the name of it. It was wonky. But for some people, they need experience. I would say something like that for people that have gone through sexual assault or something that might be very beneficial to them. I wouldn't say it'd be easy. That type of stuff would be very hard, but I feel like it would be very healing.
Well, that's what ayahuasca is. It's medicine. Medicine doesn't always taste good.
Ugh, no, it doesn't.
And I don't know where I'm getting that from. I don't know why that came through. But
literally.
Anybody out there that's had sexual trauma or something, if it's something, I would say with a shaman, you know, do it in a healthy environment because these people are there. They're spiritually guided to help you through it.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, it's like, well, I won't get on the Ouija board without somebody with me, or I won't channel without somebody else being in the room because I don't like to channel more than 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, ayahuasca ceremonies, the ceremony part is important. You know what I mean? The people beating the drums, the entire process, it ensures your safety.
Interesting. It's almost,
you know what I mean?
And with the drum beats, almost like resetting your heart.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting you in tune with the earth's heartbeat. You're taking plant medicine. Let's face it, these tribes knew the importance of drumming to alter states of consciousness. The drumming is a part of guiding the hallucinogenic process. And through the process of ayahuasca, you will face demons.
Perfect example, if you're not right.
It's an initiation, and you get better at it.
If you're doing it and you're not supposed to, anybody that's seen Natural Born Killers, remember the scene, right, where they were tripping and he goes off and hurts them all. You can have.
Yeah, you can accidentally
hurt yourself, hurt others.
Yeah, you really do need to.
That's why, like, be careful if you choose that.
Yeah, I do not condone the use of mind-altering substances. I just know for a fact that it has been used since the beginning of time in magical traditions.
And that under sacredly, yeah.
Under the right guidance, under the right circumstances. You know what I mean? And just as long as it's not breaking any laws. Right. And just as long as you're not hurting others, to each their own. you know. But yeah, you don't want to get yourself in situations where you're just taking these man-made chemical compounds, methamphetamines and shit like this, bath salts, and wow.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, no.
You know, there
No,
was some
man.
meth that had, I know, used to, formaldehyde in it,
Oh yeah.
and you could smell it. I'm like, ooh, why does it smell like a corpse?
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm
Like,
fine with.
and I'm like, oh, you know,
Fuck
it's weird,
that.
but that's when you get in that mindset, and that's the thing. That's why it is sad, because it is hard. I don't know why it is. I thought I had never really had that type of an addictive personality before that. And I just kind of laughed it off because I thought, well, that's what they say about everything, you know, because I had been so, this is the thing about, like overprotecting a child. It's like, I've been so overprotected. Well, they said that about marijuana or this or that. And I'm like,
The more mankind fucks with something, the more dangerous it gets. Even this Delta 10 and Delta 8 shit. It's just not as natural. I guarantee you it's doing a lot more harm than good. Eating the edible stuff, the gummies, that's different. You know what I mean? Some of these vaporizers and things like this, you just don't know the long-term effects, the flavors and shit. They get crystallized. They scratch your lungs. I mean, they create.
I don't know how true this
Lung
is. They called
diseases.
it popcorn lung or something.
Yeah.
Which sounds creepy, but I don't know if that's like,
Man,
you know, sometimes they'll throw that fake shit out there just to scare people, though.
See, everyone needs to
Why
be
are we
like
so
me.
obsessed
Just
as
drink
human
lemonade.
beings? Why are we so obsessed with doing things that aren't natural?
Because we're not basic anymore. We're not down, like we're not grounded. We have
It's
become
not
so,
natural to take anything
No.
into our lives.
That's what's
Why
thing.
are we stuck on that shit?
because now I guess we have so much worry.
Our
bills,
food is
money.
poison.
We have so much worry.
It's
we need
biologically engineered.
well, right.
Nothing
like
is natural anymore.
But like back in the, you know, in the prairie days, like people would work. They would get their like. You didn't see people like, especially like maybe some of the prairie people would be like smoking cigars and stuff, but it wasn't constantly.
No, it was organic tobacco. It didn't have formaldehyde and cow urea and all
But
this
they were
other
so
shit.
busy plowing, tilling, planting.
Well, yeah, and they were working for themselves too, and not a fucking
Hunting.
corporate America.
Bingo. And yeah, like so everything they did, they
Nothing
couldn't
is natural
focus.
anymore.
First of all, they didn't have time to sit there and worry about things so that they could stick on your mind and you'd have that extra make time to smoke or whatever. Honest, electricity did us dirty in a weird way. I mean, it's the more simplistic our lives have gotten, the more unhealthy we've become. Like the easier our lives have gotten, the more ungrateful for our lives we've become.
Yeah. Well, what a lot of people don't understand is that when the United States of America was first founded, the military was in the rights of the civilians, the laymen, the militias. We were in charge as civilians. We were in charge of the military. Then, you know, this war machine was created. You know what I mean? And it was different because kids were trained to go to war. Kids were trained to work the farm. They were trained in different ways. You could beat the living brakes off your kids and not have to worry about CPS crawling up on your porch like parasites. You know what I mean? If a motherfucker tried to attack you, you could shoot him and put him in the ravine.
Your wife talked you dirty, you could take her out on the courthouse steps and beer.
Yeah.
That used to be a Texas thing for real. On a Sunday only. But no,
So beat the brakes off your wife in front of the courthouse on a Sunday. Isn't it still legal? It's still legal here.
No, I think it's just recent, like very recently though. Now, like
no
when
one
you said
actually
with
did
the
it,
machine,
but
Well, maybe not in modern
This is
times.
recently.
no, not
Well, I was
recently.
gonna
No, you
say.
feel kind of awkward. Like, am I really gonna? Who's gonna be brave enough to test that shit?
Right.
You know, some jerk. I'm sure. I have an ex that might. It's in the law, like, but it wouldn't be wrong. But no, like when you said it, the machine, and that's why I started. I wasn't like just posting. I'm hearing Rage Against the Machine, and you do what they told you.
Yeah.
So you do what they told you. It's yeah, like so that's what I was doing. It's like hearing it.
So I think this is a good spot to wrap it up. Before we completely head off, I am going to do something special. So for someone in chat, if you pick a number between 1 and 20, whoever comes closest to the number I have in my head, I will pull a oracle card out for you. And since Shadows and Light was mentioned, it will be pulled from the Oracle of Shadows and Light. And I'm also going to pull cards for Bonnie and Curtis.
I want to try to guess your number without. I know.
Oh, you want to try to guess? Okay.
I'm just wanting to guess.
Yeah.
Let them all answer first, because they'll try. Like, nah.
All right. So
I don't want them to be mad at me for being wrong.
I'll give everyone 20 seconds.
We wrote ours down.
You only get one guess now, so one guess. Whatever number you said first is what we're going with. Dice, that means you.
4. This is a Y.
They're the same.
All right.
You write like a Gemini.
This is draftsman's writing.
That's how it was taught.
Okay.
It was programmed. That's how it was programmed.
So
I'm gonna start saying that instead of raised. That's how it was programmed.
Interestingly enough, someone did guess the number, but it's not the first number they said.
Oh.
But ironically, they still win because the number they first said is closest to what I had in my mind. So before I say it, what do you guys think the number is?
You go first.
I said 14.
I said 17.
You were not close. It's 5.
5?
5.
And we were making a big deal over the 4, right?
Right. She said my 4 looked like a Y. I'm like,
oh my God. His 4 does look like a Y. Hold on.
That's what I was talking about.
Wait,
Oh, it does look like a Y or a G.
There it is right here.
Yeah, it looks like a Y or a G.
Thank you.
It's a fucking 4.
I mean, that's a crippled 4. What's going on? Hi, I'm number 4.
I don't know. I do I call them the kindergarten 4s.
A G has a hook.
So, Dice, you get the No, not you, Drum Witch. Dice gets it because even though you guessed 5,
that's fine.
That was your second number. You originally guessed 17, so
That's
Dice
true.
gets it.
Almost exactly that looks like
He guessed 7. Actually, does he get it? Yeah, he gets it. He guessed 7. And that was the closest to, unless someone else guessed 7.
Then we get 4.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure Dice gets this
That's
one.
not what you did there, and you know it.
Yeah, it is.
We're still
You're still going over the G or the Y?
You better call it 4 because he'll get offended.
I mean, I'm sorry. You said you like authentic people. I'm being authentic. It looks like a Y or a G.
He's like, oh, listen, I'm gonna be authentic. It does look like a Y, but then he did it like I think he just wrote it so fast. Because other time, I'm like, either he's gaslighting me, but I think he was writing it really fast.
Yeah.
I actually did exact match of the one he did.
Even Papa Smoke, he just said, like, that's a weird looking 4, to be fair. He even said it. Dice, pick a number between... Oh, no, this is Oracle Pool, not Tarot, so no real information. So just... and for this, I will read from the book, but pick a number between 1 and 45.
You have a thing with numbers, Mel.
Which is kind of funny, because I hate math. I think it's one of the most useless things in the world, but numbers make stuff a little bit easier. So, one number between 1 and 45. Oh, so I probably should have asked you this, but are you picking up anything about my past life because of something Nora told me recently? 37.
I don't know what I'm seeing you wearing gray or silver or like, I guess maybe metal. I would say the closest it feels is, but I don't know if it's medieval, but it feels almost like Renaissance or medieval.
Oh. That'll be interesting. Okay, so Dice, you have the number 21 card, Angel of Alchemy. What the heck? Oops, sorry for the glare. Miracle. Yeah, God darn it. Light, go away. And reflection of the screen. This is as good as it's going to get, darn it. So let's see what it says about this chick. And since Curtis is away, Bonnie, I'll do yours next.
Do what?
I said since Curtis is away, I'll do yours next.
Okay.
Oh, darn it, Dice, you would get a long one. Okay. The Angel of Alchemy is the miracle who stands between the physician and death. She is the powerful healing angel who will resolve this health issue that is confronting you at this present time. Her role is to help you find the perfect treatment for your body and to restore your well-being naturally and healthfully. There we go. She helps you find the right doctor, the right treatment, the right healing mode, and the right attitude and energy to overcome this challenge. She will draw on powerful energy from her heart chakra, which will be sent to you and which can revive your energy and your belief in the possibility of your perfect health. She will help you find the courage to face the physical life, for it is that which has overwhelmed you from time to time. The sheer courage it takes to experience life in the physical form is that which she is here to help support you in, and to show you that not only does it take great courage, it brings the greatest of all blessings. And this is her now speaking. I am here to help you make a miraculous shift in your body and your health. Whether you have an injury or an illness or simply feel ill at ease within the form you currently have, I am the Angel of Alchemy, and I can show you how to change your current experience of physicality. I stand here and have done so for many thousands of years. I have seen the fear and the guilt of others. I have seen the fear of infection, the anguish of pain and despair at life seeming to end. But I am here with you now to show you how to create health and strength and how to stop being so frightened of growing older and having times when your body will challenge you. All will be well and all this will pass. This form is just one of many you will create. Let me show you how to live anew with love and health. And finally, this is the message. There may be health challenges for you at the present time. Regardless of what you or one dear to you may be experiencing, it is time to ask yourself, what would I do if I knew I had a short time left to live on this planet? Then begin to take action on these plans, because the beautiful thing about looking deeply into the human fear of death is that this examination of mortality will create an exquisite sense of being alive now, and you will reprioritize and you will begin to shape your life in new and meaningful ways. Once you see that time in the sense of boldly life can be short, do not hesitate. Take action now on changing what can be changed. When you receive this card, you're about to turn a corner with a health challenge. The current situation has actually served you in many ways. It's brought your focus back to what is truly valuable in your life and made you aware of areas of neglect. Now you can move forward with a refreshed set of priorities that are based in something very real. The Angel of Alchemy encourages you to make your healing either your own or that of someone close to you the top priority. Good Lord, that was a long one, Dice. Holy cow. But there you go. Your Angel of
I'm
Alchemy.
here. I needed to smoke my cigarette. That's a bad habit. Yes.
Well, all
Well,
right.
our dog is attacking the cat, so
That's not good.
It's just howling. It's full moon.
Okay, well, Curtis, you're up then since you're in front of the camera. Pick a number between 1 and 45.
Oh.
1 and 45. 32.
32. Any particular reason for 32?
It equals 5. Balance between elements.
That's my last pass number. 5.
My original number. Okay.
Don't count 3s, I count 5.
32. Interesting. You got the number 25 card. The Sewer Mermaid. Sorry for the glare. Your sensuality is beautiful. Oh boy, we're getting freaky.
Oh.
Alright.
Was it your spirituality beautiful?
Sensuality.
Sensuality.
Now gonna get embarrassed. You're gonna make it
That's
turn red.
crazy.
Okay. Wow, you got a long one too. God darn it. Alright.
Damn it. Why do I have to read? I hate reading.
Oh, I love
Read's
reading,
fun.
but darn.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about this earlier. You like to just get to the point.
You know,
There's
sometimes.
probably key words there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there key words?
Your sensuality is beautiful. That's the key. That's your key word.
That's the key word.
Yep.
Oh, damn. How much more? There's depth to that,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
All right, here we go. When the sewer mermaid swims in, she is here to remind you of the treasures you have that you may have labeled bad, and perhaps even pushed away, forced underneath. We often have negative thoughts that we are too short, too tall, our thighs too large, our breasts too small, our hair not right, our face not pretty enough. We speak to ourselves in negative ways, and we begin to feel we are not good enough. And when this takes place, the results can be that we begin to create negative experiences, blockages, and difficulties. We push people away rather than attract them. We hide for fear that what others see will not be good enough. But this mermaid of the hidden spaces is here to show you that your dark thoughts have told you lies about your great beauty. You are your own self, and all that you are is perfect, whole, and complete. The sewer mermaid says that you may try to push her away and refuse to believe that you are beautiful. But when you are ready, she will swim to you and free you from all the harmful negative thoughts and expressions, all the sewage. You will begin to believe that no matter what, you are a beautiful being, healthy, attractive, and one who deserves love, respect, and affection. And this is her speaking. I am here to show you how to believe in yourself, that you are attractive, beautiful, and worthy of love and respect. I will show you how to see your body as a place of health, delight, strength, and I will never die or go away. No matter what you have been told, no matter what you have told yourself, and no matter what your society has told you. Let's clean up your physical and mental acts. Let's love all aspects of the physical self. Let us not criticize and hate ourselves, no matter our size, shape, or differences. We are all unique expressions of the divine, and that truth most certainly applies to you. Let us not be ashamed anymore. Let us celebrate who we are and learn to love the differences the differences, and be grateful for all that we have, are, and will be. And this is the message. Part of you that is natural and beautiful, most likely your body and appearance, has been influenced by thoughts and ideas about it being unworthy, unhealthy, and perhaps even dirty. So, a part of you has had to evolve and exist in a less than healthy way. It is time to clean up your act, not of your natural looks, but of the way you have thought about yourself. Something beautiful has been treated badly. It is now up to you to begin to reframe your ideas and thoughts, and therefore your experiences of yourself, your body, your worth, your ability to attract others, and to see yourself as worthy of love, respect, and consideration. Let this strong survivor mermaid show you how to love yourself and your appearance again, and rise above the rubbish and stink of negative conditioning regarding your beautiful body and unique self. You are beautiful and very worth loving. This is the only truth that must be told at this time. Okay.
That's beautiful. That's pretty, though. It reminds me of that song, Fucking Perfect by Pink. You know, like when you wanting to do well, like a lot of times we'll overhurt, like we'll definitely be too critical of ourselves. That's a pretty message, because I think everybody gets hit with that once in a while, you know.
And
Yeah, I'm sure.
Papa Smoke, he kind of hit you with the zinger. First he's saying, "Is that a man bun? And your breasts are too small, Curtis."
Love it. Papa's crazy. He's like, "Oh, I gotta chime in now." I think that's his time.
Right.
Love it.
Okay, Bonnie, pick a number between 1 and...
I'm stuck with 17. I'm hearing it again, so.
17. Okay, 1,
Yeah.
7, 8, 4. Okay. 17. What do you have to say about Bonnie? Please don't burn up, because we know she's the devil. Darn it! I didn't get to do my Curtis impression tonight. Like, every now and then I like doing an impersonation of you, Curtis, out of love. I mean, I don't mean anything by it, but
I gotta hear it.
But you know, you get very deep into stuff, and you just... All right, everyone needs to listen up. I'm going to tell you the heart from the Draco, from the mana. It's going to go deep, and you need to listen as I ride the wings of the dragon, the Draco, the spear. Where do you see yourself? You know, something like that. So.
That's like a black magician, Randy Savage. Or is it Randy Savage?
Yeah, right. Macho Man.
Oh, yeah! So every now and then I do it. I do it out of love.
I love it.
That's funny.
That's great. I can, like, when Papa Smoke messages me, I hear him. I hear his accent and I giggle even, because it's like, he texted me one day and I was like, that was the most British text I've ever received. Like, no, I was like, we couldn't hide who he was, you know. No, there's no way in the world he could ever hide who he is.
I actually thought Papa Smoke was a rapper originally, because he sounds exactly like oh gosh, what is it called? It's called, it's gonna bug me. Dun, 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 dun. I can't remember. It's gonna bug me, but it was a song in a FIFA game. Oh well. Anyway, because 999 is 666. Sorcery. That's the name of the song.
I have to check it out. How funny.
All right. So Bonnie, you got. I can rap. I've got. Okay. You got the Nautilus Princess, which I think is a very pretty card. One of my favorite in this deck. Sorry for the. God darn you, light. Anyway.
Oh, it's got the shell. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what it says here. Are you kidding me? Why? All of these were long. That's powerful personal growth. About the Nautilus Princess. A big-eyed, beautiful mermaid. Oh, she's a mermaid too. Huh. Interesting. A big-eyed, beautiful mermaid surrounded by her floating, rich red hair holds tight to a nautilus shell. She is an underwater, emotional princess, and she is growing in ways she never thought she would, because soon she is to be queen, and she must make decisions. She feels uncertain about how she will perform when she is elevated and unsure of whether she can wield her power. She is very thoughtful as she contemplates the future, but all around her are the symbols of her future success. And this is her speaking. I know I am strong, but most people think of me as gentle, kind, and good. Now that I am to be the ruler, what if they see me as power-hungry, dominating, greedy, or controlling? Whatever the thoughts of those around me, there will be change as I change, and I will continue to hold fast to my Nautilus, as it ever reminds me to grow in ways that are in tune with my purpose, my integrity, and what I feel is right. I vow to be steadfast and true despite the challenges that are heading my way. I vow not to misuse my power, but use it I will, and as a result, I, like you, will grow in ways that are in tune with my true self and true purpose. And this is the message. You may be very gentle, appeasing, and timid soul who is facing a challenge. You are being asked by the universe to step up into a more senior and conspicuous role, and you are concerned about whether you can be powerful and still be a good person. The pearls here signify that you must act from a pure place and from a natural place and treat this quest as a sacred task. The Nautilus says you will grow in ways that are perfect and perfectly proportioned, just as the Nautilus is. And this is a natural result for you. Expect to grow more and more over time. This is a time of spiritual and emotional transformation, which could come to you via a friend who is older or more experienced. She will share her skills and some of her secrets with you. You could be about to experience a deeper friendship, meet a teacher who really opens your mind to a new realm of discovery, or find a trainer who can coach you in such a way that your potential blooms strong and fast. You may be about to get an after-school job that pays good money, and you'll be asked to step up and deal with the new abundance in healthy ways. There will be responsibility and rapid growth. Dignity, truth, and wisdom are your best guides. It is now time to take yourself and your potential seriously. There we go.
Makes sense.
Whew.
Nice.
Nice. I'm ready to be baby queen.
All right, so we are ending it there. You guys are going to be live tomorrow, right?
Yep, 7 o'clock.
What time zone?
Central Standard.
There you go. So you guys hear that? Curtis Joseph's channel, 7 p.m. CST, which will be 5 p.m. PST. And you don't want to miss it. It's a lot of fun. And trust me, you will learn something.
West Coast. And then Mountain Time, it's an hour difference. So.
Ooh, Bonnie, look at you. I can do numbers and math. Yay!
Friends all over. Yeah.
But seriously, guys, go check it out. it's worth it. Like, Curtis is always dropping some type of truth bomb. At first it might give you a headache trying to figure out what the heck he's saying, but eventually you'll understand. And I'm gonna be honest here, like, it has inspired me and has honestly helped me out with a lot of stuff. You know, even you mentioning do 10 freaking push-ups every day, get your energy flowing and all of that. Well, I have been doing that and increasing the push-ups every week and doing sets now. So
Awesome.
you know,
And I've been so proud. Yeah.
so like, listen to him. All right, guys. Anyway, yeah, I think that is where we will end it. Oh, look at that. It's actually midnight for you guys, just like it's midnight somewhere in the world. Thank you all again for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Peace.